Hello. It's been a good long time since I've done one of these, and here we are, Whittle Waffle, the Lawless special. I think this is what tempted me to come back out of the woodwork a little bit, having absolute blast at Lawless 2022 in Bristol last weekend. It was just wonderful, and I thought, you know what, I need to talk about it a little bit. So here we are. So, facts about Lawless, what was it? It was essentially a 2000 AD Comic Con, although it doesn't say that, but essentially it was. And it was held in the Doubletree Hilton down in Bristol, which I kept calling the Ramada all weekend because I'm obviously of a certain age. Jesus, it's not been the Ramada for a long time. I flew down on Friday night and flew back Sunday afternoon. It was a lovely convention. It's been the first convention that I've been to since I did Thought Bubble 2017. Is that right? Kiddo was born in so the end of 2017. So it's a long time since I've done a convention. And I'll be honest with you, I was a bit nervous going to this one. I've been off the scene, and I didn't know what to expect, but do you know what, it was like being home. So amazing to see so many familiar faces, to meet so many new people, and to have such a laugh and to be so inspired. And I do feel inspired. I felt inspired to do this. I felt inspired to buy my first prog in a long time, which I did on the way home, and read 2 progs on the airplane on the way home and downloaded the magazine as well. So it's pretty huge, really. So what do I want to say about Lawless? The first thing I want to talk about is, we're going to just take it for read that the high point for me always is seeing Iz and Sally, 3 Musketeers. But number 1 on my list is actually Sue. So Sue Hadrell, who runs Lawless with our partner Andy. I have known her online for, we think, about 20 years. So we met on the SFX forum, like right back in the beginning of the SFX forum, I think. And when that closed down, we moved to Twitter and then Facebook and then, you know, all the other social medias. And this is the first time I've actually met her. So that was immense, finally meeting the cherry bomb. When I say immense, she's titchy, just this big. And she did just such a sterling job. She was on her feet the whole time, running around, but giving off calm, having everyone's back, telling us we were all brilliant the whole time. She was just an absolute legend. So that was a double amazing with Sue. The next thing was, I did actually work the con for Sue. So I was doing the front desk with Iz and Wendy on Saturday. So if you were at the con, you probably saw me. I probably called you a bonny lad or a bonny lass and gave you a goodie bag. So that was me. And Wendy is and me were the dream team, just getting everyone through as fast as possible. So hopefully nobody queued very long. We did seem to get through it really quickly. And massive thanks to the lovely Mark Lamb, who was my right hand sov judge the day as well, running around after us, giving us the odd hug when I needed it, and Bav as well, running after, picking up goodie bags and making sure we're okay. Just absolute legends. All of the cosplay and bouncers were incredible, just making everybody laugh and cheering everybody up when they got through. So just as soon as you walked through the door, you knew you were somewhere special, I think. And I think all those guys added to that very, very much. The goodie bags were pretty awesome as well. I haven't even had a good look through mine yet, but I do love a magnet. I do. I think it's going to be backwards, isn't it? Because I had this brilliant tip that you should record with the camera that faces away with you, not the one that faces to you. But then I'm like, how do you switch it on? And how do you know if you're in the... Great with the technology, me. There's a grab bag with what are these called again? Taz? Are they Taz? Is that right? I love them. I'm going to get them out later when the kiddo is in bed. Not before, because I'll never see them again. So there was all sorts of little bits in there. I did empty it out and make Rob Stewart take half of it when he was dropping us off. There you go. So I haven't had a good look through, but there were some amazing things in the goodie bag. What else do I want to talk about? So yeah, the welcome was brilliant. The room was set up so it was like actually loads of space to walk around without feeling crowded. I didn't have a really good look around the little trader room. I only really saw Dave Broughton and I didn't really get any further around, which is my bad. But the room where most of the creators were was a lovely big airy room. And I didn't, and I think I maybe only got one walk around as well. I was just so busy all day. And what was I doing? So I did the first panel of the day on the Saturday, which was the Art of 2000 AD, the early years, and I got to meet the legends, Brian Bolland and Mike Dory. I already know and love the legend John Higgins, so it was just lovely to be back on a panel with John as well after all these years. And he cracked one joke about me tits, which was brilliant. It's just, yeah, that might be in a record. So yeah, quite overwhelming to like first panel of the day interview these legends, and I was quite nervous, I have to be honest. But what a fantastic! I flew by. The guys were talking to each other and asking each other questions, which I always think, you know, you've hit a good question if they're talking about it between themselves. I loved how Mike Dory seemed to be taking the mick out of anybody who doesn't still draw by hand. What you got, Syntech? What you got Wacom? What you use Manga Studio? Just do by hand. Quicker. Thought that was hilarious. How lovely to see Mike Dory on the scene as well. So he was saying it was only his third Comic Con since he only just recently found out that they exist and that people are interested in him and want to meet him and want to see his artwork. And I got a gorgeous Savage print from him as well, which is already on my wall. That's how much I like it. So that was brilliant, and I was just, it went so smoothly and interesting, I think, and it was just really lovely to hear the nerd talk. I love a bit of nerd talk, and yeah, there was lots of that, which was great. That room was packed. There was standing room only at the back, expected for the legends, but yeah, it was really good. And thank you so much, Dottie, for bringing us drinks and looking after us and coming to fetch us and taking photos. Amazing. That was just so fab. And then, do you know, the rest of the day just went by in a blur. By the time I'd met up and I'd seen the delicious Eamon from the Mega City book, the Mega City, what the fuck's it called, Eamon? The Mega City Book Group, is that it? Perimenopause. The delicious Eamon, the wonderful Pete Wells and John Burdis and Rob Stewart, and I said hello to Boo and Tom and all the guys. It just was, and Ben, lovely Ben. It was just gone before I knew it was the end of the day, and I don't quite understand how it happened. And then obviously went for some food with friends, and then back to the bar for drinks. And it was absolutely my plan to be in bed at a sensible time and not to drink too much, because I hate being hungover these days. And she says, with a glass of wine, chin chin, my darlings. And that didn't happen. I think it's not my fault. I've forgotten to talk about a thing. Yeah, I forgot to talk about a thing. That's one of the things I did do when the day was whizzing by, is that I went to see the other 2000 AD panel that was in the afternoon, that was hosted by Simon Belmont, and it had on it the gorgeous Ben Wilshire, Clint Langley, Dave Kendall, who can say go for me all day, in that beautiful accent, and Steve McManus. And that panel was really good, really interesting. I made a BFF for life in the audience. I wish he'd told us his name because I don't know it. I spent quite a bit of time with you over the weekend. Don't know your name. But that was really good and really interesting and completely different to the 2008 chat in the morning, which I thought was that really nice to bookend the day with those, like, the early years and the more I would say more current Stephen McManus has been there for a while, but he's still working and doing stuff, and it was great hearing all the stories and things. So that was a really good one. So yeah, back to the bar. I'm definitely going to blame Tom Eglinton actually for the fact that he made them reopen the bar. After, like, we decided to go to bed, he decided that no, we're not going to bed. So it's definitely Tom's fault and not my fault. And that's what we'll be telling me mum when she asks. All right. But do you know what? It was just so wonderful. It was so wonderful to see Connor and Lizzie in the bar. It was who hadn't been at the con, who just come in at the night time. That was great. It was lovely to spend some time with Tom Eglinton and Bill Cook and Clint Langley and my beautiful Sally and Iz. And it was, and oh, fell in love forever again. It was the weekend for falling in love forever with the absolutely delicious Joanne Alexander. I mean, I am besotted now. Besotted. Dressed as Durham Red for the morning and Lawless in the afternoon. And then was Minnie the Minx all day Sunday. Absolute legend. I'm besotted. So there you go. So yes, the bar was, as always, stunner. We had several tumbles. We had the lovely John Wagner had a little fall. He was okay. Alan Hepton had a fall. He was slightly less okay. Really nasty cut and a beautiful shiner the next day. And Glenn Fabry had a nasty fall as well, so he was a little bit late coming down the next day because he really hurt himself, so that was not great. But apart from all the people falling over, and for once not one of them being me, result, it was just brilliant. And you know what, I don't regret staying up late at all, because when was the last time I was at a convention? Didn't hear anything. My daughter is refusing to go to bed. She's got shit to do. She doesn't want to be confined. Anyway. So yes, Sunday back on the front desk and checking in the Sunday people and giving any help that needed to people who were there but the day before, maybe if they needed a new wristband, all of that stuff. And just really fun again. I think I met every single person at the convention being on the desk, and I loved that. Absolutely loved that. It's interesting seeing all the cosplayers in their real clothes the next day and in the bar, seeing if you recognise them. She says, getting out the colour info. Some people look very different, very different. Yeah, so that's interesting. The guy who came as Tharg, Marcus, I think he was called, he was brilliant. Came as oh, how did he come as the next day? I've forgotten. Rubbish, but he was Tharg and he was very green. Very green. Fabulous. Fabulous guy. So yeah, front desk. And then I did go and be table dollies for a few of the artists who needed a hand. Running around looking after people and things like that again, which was just fun. I just really liked the non-stop nature of working a con, because it stops you feeling quite so horrifically hungover. And then we had the Doctor Who panel, which I hosted with the lovely Ben again, and with David Roach and Mike Collins and John Higgins, and it was just lovely to see Mike and David again. Love talking with those guys because Ben particularly, David and Mike are hardcore Who fans, and there's nothing like a Who fan. I feel nothing. 2080 fans are different kettle of fish. I feel similar, different flavour. Sounds pervy, doesn't it? Very unlike me. Anyway, it was only a half-hour panel. That could have been an hour, because there was just so much to talk about. I mean, we've got new showrunner, we've got new Doctor Who. The last time we did a Doctor Who comic panel, we didn't have Jodie Whittaker, we didn't have we didn't have that whole gang. Didn't get to ask them about what they thought about the companions as well, because companions, to me, can make and break a series, because let's not forget how much I fucking hated Clara. Ruined the Capaldi series for me, that with her. Ugh. Did I mention I really hated her? Yeah, so for me, really make or break, and if you don't get a good companion, then it doesn't matter how good the Doctor is. It's true. Anyway, we didn't get to ask any of those stuff and about what the difference is about anyway, we need an hour next time for the Doctor Who panel. I just personally, just for me. In fact, you boys just come talk to me in the pub and we'll talk about Doctor Who. That would be great. And then after that, I had to leg it for the plane, and yeah, just got there. So that was exciting frisson at the end of the con for me. Am I going to make my plane, or am I going to be ringing my dad and asking him to come and pick his 44-year-old child up at the airport? I made it. If I've missed any names off that I met and I got, I'm sorry, but this is Thursday now after the con, and I'm still not right. I'm knackered. I'm not sleeping properly. Talawa, are you the same? If you were at the con, are you the same? Are you struggling to get back to real life? Because maybe I don't want to be. It was so good, and it was so fun, and it was so lovely, like putting my skin back on, my geek skin that's been missing recently, that I didn't want to take it off. Does that sound creepy too? Oh, I am who I am. So I don't want to struggling to get back into real life. Just want to be back in Bristol with all you guys. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Only regrets. Oh, I got to meet Lou Stringer as well. We've been internet buddies for ages. That was lush. But I didn't get a good conversation with him because Lou was packed out all weekend. And with my running around and stuff, I didn't get a good chance. So next time, Lou. Next time. Yeah, that was great. What did I distract myself with from the thing that I distracted myself with? Can't remember. Anyway, I just loved it. I loved absolutely every second of it. Oh, that's it. If I missed like saying your name, if I've met you, then I'm sorry. But I met so many people, and it was wonderful. Oh, the Eastleys were amazing as well. Fantastic. Another Durham Red, and some of the costumes were amazing. I want to judge his outfit. Anyway, yeah, the costumes were amazing. It was wonderful. Things are great. Yeah, it didn't get. I got one sketch. Oh shit, I haven't brought it down. Which my lovely Sally did of me for my big book of Johnny's. It's just there, but I've got my jaw and my pants on. None of you need to see that. So I'm not getting up. And that's it. I managed to pick up a couple of prints, but I had really wanted some sketches, and I failed at that because I just didn't have time to queue. So yeah, next time I'll be going and put my name down straight away for sketches, because I'd forgotten. I just forgotten how things work, and so yeah, more sketches definitely next time, and actually some shopping because I got very little. Really didn't have a lot of time to get around. So they're the two things that I wish I'd had more time to do. Oh, Jim Campbell, legend. How lush. So I did get to talk to Jim last year's Lawless, which was online, and we did a great interview, and he's just a great guy, and he's fun, and he's lovely, and he's a true nerd to the core, and the most gothy of goth men I've ever seen. And it was really lovely to get some quality time with Jim as well and have a chat. So yeah, I knew things would start pinging as soon as I thought I would stop talking about stuff. So just rubbish, that's how it goes. So yes, I think that's everything that I wanted to talk about. I'm just checking through my notes. I have actual notes because I have to, because old lady brain's leaking out of my head. So yes, so that was it. So I do want to, so that was the Lawless bit. I do want to quickly go through my usual, you know, it's been years, but my old usual topics, which are always things what I've read, things what I've watched, and things what I'm knitting. So things that I'm reading. First, this Doctor Strange. It's the Mighty Marvel Masterworks, and I sound so Geordie there, didn't I? Mighty Marvel. Mighty Marvel Masterworks. And this is the right back to the beginning of Doctor Strange. I'm not sure if this is all going to come out backwards and stuff. Origin stories, the first stories, they're all really, really short, couple of pages, 4 or 5 pages max. And I am loving this. I'm about halfway through this. I set aside to read something else, but I'm absolutely loving it. I'm a proper Doctor Strange kick at the moment. I read another one before this that I loved, and I've got plans to read, pick up a couple more after I get through this one. I'm a little bit obsessed. Did that have something to do with the movie coming out? Well, we'll get to that in the next section, but I am absolutely loving. And this is Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, and it is absolutely stunning. I mean, how much writing is on every page blows my mind as well, because like, how is the art so beautiful around that amount of text? It's just stunning. I love everything about it. I love how he draws Doctor Strange, and he's just like eyebrows and cheekbones, you know. Oh, it's just delicious. I'm loving it. So yeah, I think this might be the, I'm gonna admit it now, not really, and I've never been a Marvel fan. I've always been, I like some DC, I like Batman. The only other serious amount of Marvel comics I've read is Daredevil, which was the Bendis run, I think. Wonderful, loved that. But really, not really. I've always been a small press and independent press, Vertigo, and that sort of thing. And I've really not read a lot of superhero comics or anything, apart from Batman. Love Batman. Quite a lot of Daredevil, and now the new obsession, Doctor Strange, and loving it. I do get these phases where I become quite obsessed with one thing, and then I'll read it and read it until I'm sick of it, and then I choose something else, which is why I read loads of Daredevil and then loads of Batman, and now we're on the Doctor Strange kick at the moment, and I'm loving it. It's pointless trying to give you any synopsis. They're all really short stories. It's quite a big book. They're all 5 pages, but I love the origin story, which was picked up so beautifully in the first Doctor Strange movie. It's like, it's exactly, apart from the car crash, I don't think it's to do with him speeding, it's something else, but it's uncannily very faithful to the 5-page origin story in the book. And yeah, I love that film. I think it's one of the underrated ones, and I really have a lot of time for it. I've watched it a lot, and often if I'm feeling a little bit down in the dumps, that's one of the films that I will put on too. I really like that film a lot. So anyway, that was Doctor Strange that I've been reading. I have not been reading, but listening an audiobook to The Lord of the Rings. So I have tried to read The Lord of the Rings more times because I'm such a fantasy fan, and you know, Tolkien is the king of the fantasy and stuff, and I've never been able to get away with it. I've always got so far in the first book, and I think, oh God, walk and walk and walk, stop and have something to eat, walk and walk and walk, stop and camp, walk and walk, and just, I'm fucking bored. Nobody's killed anyone. Where's the action? Where's the dragon? Anyway, really struggled with reading it, and then I thought, you know what? I had loads of Audible credits. I'm gonna try listen to it. And then I remembered that that's how The Hobbit came about in the first place, was because Tolkien made those stories up to read to tell his children, and the only reason he wrote them down was because the children kept telling him he was making mistakes in his own narrative, which is just like a child. And I thought, well, I wonder if I'll do better with it being an audiobook. And yes is the answer. That book is meant to be read aloud to you, and you listen to it. That's my feeling on it. I flew through the first one, unbelievably, and the second one, and I'm a little bit stuck on the third one, and I think it's just because it's so fucking miserable right now. It's dark, and they're tired, and people are dying, and the world is black. And that's hard to live within your ears for any great amount of time. So I get about 10 minutes and then I'm like, oh, put Stevie Nicks on. So I flew through the first two books. I have run into a little stumbling block with the last one. And I think, you know what? These days of things being all over the place and everything's shit, it is hard to listen to miserable things. Not that it's miserable, but it's like, well, it's fucking war, isn't it? It's like, anyway, I'm finding it a little bit hard going, not because of the writing and not because of the story, but just because of the heaviness of it. And I think that's, you know, fair enough. But I am really enjoying it. Samwise, though, the true hero of the entire series. Really is. Anyway, so that's that. I am reading a book. I can't remember the author's name. Disgusting. So I'm just gonna have to open my Kindle. It's called The Winter Guest. Sorry, I'm just trying to find out who it's by. W.C. Ryan. The Winter Guest. I'll see if I can find a synopsis actually. This is good telly. It's good telly, isn't it? What it is, it's set in Ireland just after this war. First World War. Second World War. Fuck. My memory. Shocking. Okay, trying to find a synopsis. I'm really enjoying it. It's really well written. It's not the usual sort of thing that I would go for, and I think I get you know, the BookBub email. Do you know what I'm talking about? There's this email that you get every day. It's called the BookBub thing, and it'll tell you every Kindle book that's on special offer, or everything that's going like 99 pence or 1.99 or free or whatever. And I bought it on one of them because it was 99 pence. And I do that. What I'll do is I'll buy loads of stuff, and then I've got stuff backed up. So if I fancy it, I buy it because it's 99 pence. That's what I do. Oh, here, this is what it says. Set against the backdrop of the Irish War of Independence, The Winter Guest is an irresistible mix of atmospheric ghost story and classic murder mystery, complete with a gloomy country house filled with haunting secrets, a gripping, unsettling historical mystery with a classic feel for fans of Agatha Christie. That's why I bought it. Fan of Agatha Christie. So I'm not that far into it. I'm really enjoying it. It's another quite bleak. I mean, it sounds bleak, doesn't it? It started with death, and then it moved into the war. And now they're back in Ireland, and it's horrible, and there's checkpoints, and you can't move around properly, and you can't move around at night, and all of that. And so that's possibly some more uplifting things I should read, but I am really enjoying it. It is very atmospheric. I also have read the last two progs. I know. Who are So what number are they? Ah, fucking hell. This is the downside of reading stuff digital. 2283 and 2284. So 2283 is a Sinister Dexter cover by an artist who is new to me. I am not familiar. Tazio Bettin. I think that's how you say it. It's absolutely beautiful, and there's just definitely like a 1950s Hammer House of Horror vibe to it. Can you see it? You're just going to get my ring light, aren't you? Maybe 1950s Hammer House of Horror type thing. Now, interesting coming back to the prog after all of this time, and I have to say, out of the stories in here, there is the Judge Dredd and Honest Man, which is part 4. There's Brink, Hope in the Shadows, Dexter, The Thing in the Thing, and Fiends of the Eastern Front. So, Brink, Hope, Dexter, and Fiends, I've got no fucking clue what's happening. Not a little bit. The Tieran Trevelyan artwork is stunning and absolutely beautiful in Fiends, but I really don't know what's happening. It's the last part of the Sinister Dexter, so I don't expect to know what's happening. Anyway, Hope in the Shadows looks really interesting. It's got that Jimmy Broxton artwork, and it's really different. And I don't think I've seen anything quite like it in the prog before. Not when I was reading before. But I'm totally lost at sea. I can't work out what's happening at all. So that's Guy Adams and Jimmy Broxton. But like I say, I might actually I'd have to collect it. I wonder if I'll go back up, because it's not too expensive to buy them digitally, so maybe I'll go back and buy the last few so I can get up to date with what's happening. Brink again, Dan Abnett, Ian Culbert, not a clue what's happening in that either, but seemed slightly more accessible, like I could vaguely work out what was happening. I think there's a ship, there's lots of people on it, there's lots of political infighting between who runs it and unions, and all of that is trying to hide the fact that something sinister is going on underneath. That's the impression that I got. I don't know how right I am, because yeah, that's quite far into that story too. Then you've got Judge Dredd, An Honest Man, and that is by Ken Niemand, Tom Foster, Chris Blythe, and Annie Parkhouse. This is a part 4, and yet entirely accessible. Immediately picked up what was happening, understood where the story was going, understood what was happening. Really felt like it could have been, oh no, this is part 3. It really felt like it could have been a part 1. Whatever I missed in the first 2 episodes doesn't feel too bad. It is absolutely wonderful to lay my hands on the beauty, feast my eyes on the lovely, lovely Chris Blythe colours. He does reds like literally nobody else. His reds are the best reds. That's a fucking geeky thing to say. However, true. Anyway, I'm really enjoying that. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, that was interesting that out of all of the stories in there, the Dread was the only one that I read them all, but the Dread was the only one that I really couldn't get to grips with. Right at the back, I'm really enjoying, and I think this must be something to do with the it being the 45th anniversary year. They're doing Brimful of Thrills on the 45, so it must be to do with the 45th anniversary, and they're doing like a timeline of past progs and going through and telling you what happened in this prog and this prog and this prog and this year, and this is the debut of this, and this is the end of that. This is the first time this artist drew that, and I love that. I mean, that sets my absolute geeky heart aflame, stuff like that. They used to do something similar in SFX back in the day. I don't get it anymore. I don't read any magazines anymore. But yeah, fabulous. And it was really nice to be back reading the prog, so I read the next one as well. And what I can tell you is I'm going to say something really similar. I only understood what was happening in the Dread. Let's see what the cover was by Ian Culbert, with the Brink cover. interesting, quite sparse cover, but then that's in sort of design aesthetic, isn't it? I loved the dread, really enjoyed that. There was also is it a Terror Tale or Future Shock, the school run, which I loved. That twist at the end was really funny. I really liked it. No spoilers, just in case you haven't read it. The artwork's delicious. It's Steve Austin, who I failed to meet at Lawless this weekend, but it's gorgeous. There's something about, particularly, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it because of the lighting, that panel, that, look at that. Oh, sorry. Anyway, I really enjoyed that, and it was really nice to have an accessible thing that I could read, and it was all and done, you know, because the rest of it was just, unfortunately, a bit gobbledygook. But this is the nature of the comic, isn't it? If you go away, unless you come back to a jumping on prog, you're not gonna know. And to be honest with you, coming back to a jumping on prog has another set of problems anyway, because quite often you'll need to have known something that's happened before, and if you don't, you don't. So just jump in. That was my idea. Just jump in and keep going, and it'll eventually make sense. Like life, but I'm still waiting for that bit. But there you go. So that's everything I'm reading. TV wise, I'm gonna go quite fast because I've been talking a long time now, and it's my first time back, and it feels really weird. It feels strange. Anyway, so Doctor Strange. I went to the cinema to see Doctor Strange. I don't want to give too many spoilers away, even though it's been out for a while, except for to say there was a little bit where I thought, I don't understand why this person is the baddie. Surely the last thing they were in ended well. Why are they bad now? So I had that little moment, and it didn't really make sense to us but it didn't matter because they were an awesome baddie. I absolutely loved it. I loved watching out for the Bruce Campbell cameo. I loved the Sam Raimi, all the little nuggets of Sam Raimi that were in there. My favourite bit, is it a spoiler? Skip past if it's a spoiler, was a bit where all of the horrible, creepy, ghosty things formed together to make Doctor Strange's cloak. I thought that was outrageously beautiful. Sick beautiful, but gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. I loved sitting right till the end and seeing all the little bits and pieces. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is an amazing actor, and I think he is. And after reading this, I think he is Doctor Strange. So now I've read Origin, I've read later Doctor Strange as well. I think he is absolutely outstanding as Doctor Strange, and I couldn't say that about the first film because I didn't know, but now that I've been reading the comics, I think he's amazing. He's got the same sort of chisel, and I really liked it. The cameos. Shall we talk about the cameos? I think no. Haley Atwell though. Yes. I loved all the cameos. They were all brilliant. I've got no, apart from that little wibble where I was like, I don't quite understand that. I thought they were great. I thought the child actors were great. I thought the whole thing was wonderful, and I can't wait to see it again. And that's all I've got to say about that. The other thing I've watched very recently is Moon Knight. I know it's been out a while. I personally loved it, absolutely loved it, and I don't say this lightly at all, I think Oscar Isaacs could play Johnny Alpha. Yeah, I do. I think he'd be brilliant. Back in the day, I thought it was Rufus Sewell, you know, for a long time, but he's knocking on a bit now, isn't he? I mean, still beautiful, I would, but can he still be Johnny Alpha? No, I don't think he can, but Oscar Isaacs can. Get it made quickly before we lose another one. Not like through death, you know, just through age. Anyway, I loved that. I hope there's a second series. I think there is. I don't know why I'm putting my pen at you in an aggressive manner, but I did really enjoy it. I thought his accent was brilliant, but then listen to mine. The only other thing I've been watching is Depth v Heard. That's it. It's all over now, thank God, until the appeal. But what I will say is I already miss Camille and Ben Shue and Elaine and Rotten Bum. I miss you guys. You were great telly, and that's a shame, isn't it? Anyway, let's not go down there. No. Oh, Robbie Ewan, it was amazing to spend some time with you this weekend and to talk this to death. Thank you. Yes, that's it. So there's other stuff. I'm obsessed with The Blacklist. I'm making my way through that. I've started rewatching Elementary from the beginning again because sometimes I need comfort telly, and there's 2 shows that do that for me. There's loads, but the top of the Bones is one and Elementary's the other, and they are 2 shows that I think have absolutely amazing cast chemistry, so that it's like you feel part, you know what I mean? So those are always going on the background as well as Taskmaster. How lovely to have my accent reflected back on us on the telly, and how amazing is Chris Ramsey being on that. Anyway, that's another thing. That's not nerdy. Let's not talk about that. So the last thing, and then deep breath, is knitting. I got the most amazing Doctor Who skirt made for the weekend. I am that nerdy. Turns out when I got there, Mike Collins had designed the fabric. How amazing is that? So he was chuffed to bits to see he was wearing it. And it's beautiful. And then I didn't really have anything to wear with it, and I knew I'd be hot because I'm always hot, so I knit myself a vest, and I was really pleased with how it came out. It was like a grass green colour, but I knit the straps too long, and then I had to tie them, and then it was a little bit short. But I love it so much, and it is so hot at my work all of the time. I thought I'll knit a few more of those because they're awesome. So, it is not this red in real life. It's Chris Blythe red now. So I knit another one. So it looks quite short. I don't think I can wear it for work unless I wear something underneath. Actually, it's quite a deep V, maybe. It was a really simple pattern. It was a free pattern, and I love it. I want one in every colour basically. So it needs to be, for those knitters among you who know what I'm talking about when I say block, which just means washed and stretched. It needs a good stretch. There's quite a lot of silk content in this wool. It's look how tiny it feels lovely. It's a BFL silk yarn by Easy Knits, and it's their deeply wicked base, which is a really heavily saturated base, and it's lace weight, and then I knit it on really big needles so that it would be really airy, so you can see through it, which I've got awesome tips, so I don't mind. So I'm really pleased with it. I've got some more set aside for a few different colours, so I'm going to meet, and it was really fast to knit as well. So the one I was wearing on Sunday I knit in a week, and then I knit that one in 2 days. So lush, crinkle, crinkle, crinkle. I have got about 17 pairs of socks on the needles. This is the only ones I can find. These are like proper gothy socks, aren't there? These are for my friend Amy, who is whinging that they're not done yet. All of the time. I can't remember what the wool is, but I like it. And then I'm thinking, will Amy like that? This is what happens. Will Amy like that? She's not very gothy. Got some Pride sock yarn upstairs. Amy would like that better, I think. What's nice is Amy, my friends Amy and Sandra, me and Isabel all have the same size feet. So if I think, oh, Is might like these ones better, I hope Amy doesn't watch this. Anyway, I am always knitting socks. I am always knitting socks for friends because I have so many pairs of socks and I love knitting them, and I think wearing knitted socks is heaven on your feet, and that it's really hard to go back to normal socks after you've spent time wearing knitted socks. That's what I think. I love knitting socks. if I have ever knit you socks, then you know I love you, because it takes at least 16 hours to make a pair of socks. So if I've knit you socks, I love you, because I don't just give anybody 16 hours of my time. Maybe I do, you know, like this. But no, not even then. If I've knit you socks, I love you. That's all I've got to say. So, look, I'm nearly finished this one, and I keep procrastinating and casting on new socks and then not finishing a pair. It's ridiculous. So, there's always socks. I have plans for another vest. I have plans for a similar shape of a t-shirt, but with like little sleeves and slightly less of a V, so that I can wear them for work. 18-year-old students do not want to see 44-year-old lady cleavage, sadly. There you go. In fact, they don't. What I find is, in our latest bunch of students, they don't want to talk to us at all. They would much rather text us while standing at the camera. Anyway, that's by the by. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a library assistant in a medical library. Anyway, so that's all I'm knitting. And I think that's it. And that is a long time talking for not having done this for a little while. And now I don't know how to leave. What did I do before? Did I just say, right, that's enough of this shit and hang up? Let's do that. That's enough of this shit. Hopefully I'll see you again.